Hello everyone, we're at the Ibaraki Prefecture. We're here at Tsukuba Circuit. Nice afternoon we're having, even though the clouds have been starting to roll around with the possibility of rain. Welcome everyone to the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. We're kicking off this weekend with the Zako Series here in the Tsukuba 400 weekend. First of two races here in this circuit. We're going to kick off with the Zako series. Basically, it's the complimentary split, the runners-up split, or you can say it's the compensation split if you want to call it that, because these basically house the 14 drivers, initially 15, that did not make this cut into the Tsuyo series that will compete tomorrow, and they are essentially out of contention from the main title, but they are still going to be able to at the very least compete for a compensatory title, if you want to call it that. But whatever the case is, it's a second tier title in Hololive GT3. Still not winning this title does not mean you will win the Hololive GT3 Japan Series overall title, but it will still mean that you will be able to get some trophy and silverware out in the end. Anyways, let's take a look into the track map. We're seeing the Tsukuba 400 at the Tsukuba circuit. 2.045 kilometers of racetrack, meaning that this track is literally the shortest in the aero calendar. There may be some competition sometime in the future, but for now, this is currently the shortest aero track on record. 12 corners, a total of 98 laps of racing to come. I think we're actually forced to actually start with a 400 tier race due to the constraints of this circuit. It's round one of the Tsuyo Zako series. Of course, the Zako series is going to compete first this weekend, here on Saturday, and then the Tsuyo series will continue on tomorrow on Sunday on the exact same time as the Zako series, so 2 p.m. Japan time. It's a time attack track. You can see here it's a very small 2.2 kilometers, very technical and challenging for each of the drivers who want to try their luck on putting their laps here onto the racetrack. Now we're going to do a bit of a slight deviation from from our usual spotters guide, because the drivers lineup mostly remained unchanged, with the exception of a few other drivers that have joined in. So just wanted to scroll you on a few drivers. A bit of something on the news is that we have the Regloss drivers participating here in Hololive GT3 for the first time, although they are going to be running concept liveries, as Regloss have yet to have their own 3D, let alone the original idol uniforms. So we have in-class drivers participating here in Tsukuba, with the likes of Don Elise representing Osanose Kanade. And then we also have the likes of Jake Martinez, also from Formula Hall of International, competing here in Hololive GT3 Japan for Yodoshi Ao. Other drivers include number 6 driver Shango, who had a stint in the 2023 season for Kazumari Rohai Minato Aqua. He is now representing Ichijorika full-time, so he is currently the only full-time Regloss driver from what we're seeing. He represents Ichijorika. And then we have Juku Rajan representative Chanel Markman coming in from the Formula Hall International as well to compete in Hololive GT3 Japan once again, for the first time, I believe. And then we also have one more driver to look at, and that is actually Liam Kai representing Todoroki Hajime in car number 82. Hopefully everyone has had a good look into what these cars look like. So we're going to go into a bit of an intermission to start the qualifying session. My name is Mohamed Shazad Reza, and of course it's just me in the commentary booth at the moment, so we're going to work with what we got here. Literally mostly going to be talking to a brick wall. And with that, the qualifying session has finally gone underway. First Hololive GT3 session in well over 3 months. Us drivers are going to be rushing into these sorts of equipment, but of course, to no surprise, we're going to be seeing the Regloss cars, a Regloss car, which in the form of Chanel Markman, take to the circuit first. Now, the big issues that come in having a hot lap in Tsukuba is how you deal with lap cars in the process, as this is a very small circuit, and of course, the space being afforded is very, very small. So Markman knows he's got to, at the very least, try to find some space for himself to not be too close to a lap car for him to actually get some opportunity into this lap. So anyways, onboard Chanel Markman's number 67, Jufute Raden, Lexus coming into the main straight, coming into turn 1, as you can see here into the bottom right of your screen, the radar, he is clear. Up the crest, brake at that portion, into turn 1, and then get a good exit into turn 2, turn 3 is a bit flat, but once you get into turn 3, in the middle of the turn 3 king, brake into the hairpin turn 4, first gear, and then coming into turn 5, I believe, third gear for him. And then coming into this hairpin, you can use the AstroTurf or the painted surface, the green painted surface as reference of where you need to brake. And then of course you get this long back straight here for you to get some time in. Of course you need to get a good exit on that corner for you to get a lot of time in. And here's the final corner here. You probably want to go for a late apex approach on the final corner. You might want to sacrifice the speed at the final corner, but you could get some good runs into the main straight. And as it stands right now, Chanel Markman is okay, 54.19, 54.20 or 54.210. But then you have Yuta Asano representing Minato Aqua in this finally fully updated number 9 car with frills and all that stuff. Very nice to see the livery being updated to actually properly look like Aqua's original idle uniforms. Anyways, Asano has had a record here in Tsukuba in Formula Hololive. He hasn't had the best of races. This is actually the track on where he made his debut. And Asano has not been at the races in Formula Hololive, but right now he's making his amends in Hololive GT3, but not until Chanel Markman actually manages to beat Asano. He's now up into the 53.9s, only driver to have been able to do so. He's been on the rise. Lexus cars have been traditionally powerful here in this track. Let's see if Markman is able to continue his good performance. Don Elise, another one of the Regloss entrants, continues to pull up a good stop in the Otonose Kanade number 59 Honda. Really trying to provide some extra oomph in this car for Sakamata Chloe in the number 96 Honda. Good notion about Sakamata Chloe is that she actually managed to use the original idle uniform. So this is actually, how do we say this? It's a bit of a refreshment in the idle uniforms department, and not just that, it actually would mean that use of the original uniform, or rather giving really dose of performance in Hololive GT3 is actually quite worth it, looking at how Ryu is currently up there inside 4th place. He was pretty good in Formula Hololive, making the CO Cup in a near comfortable position. But he hasn't been at the races in Hololive GT3, at least not good enough for him to get into the studio. But then again, there are literally like, I believe 9 other Honda NSXs that make the studio, so really shouldn't be too mad that he was the one that missed out. Anyways, looking into other drivers, we have 5 drivers who have yet to make their laps. So we have Reba down in 14th, Turner 13th, Cashew 12th, Rio 11th, Sean Gold now up in 9th place, beating out Kizuhara Leo's lap with a 54.65. Not many Nissans are actually turning up. Right now we have Fabio Mendez having troubles getting out of the car. He is vibrating. Looks like the car might have some problems. So Fabio Mendez, of course, has said that he's not going to continue for much longer in the ARO. and right now it's a bit of a concern to see Bobby Mendes very much stuck here. So for the remaining 5 drivers, if they don't qualify, then there will be a lottery, I believe, to see on who actually qualifies where from 15th place onwards. So we still have at least 14 drivers who have at least made their laps. Cashew 12, Rio in 11th. Rio was actually very good in the last race in Tsukuba in Formula Hololive. He was the pole sitter. He finished inside the podium in his debut race. Very, very exciting, but the problem is that he could be faster. The problem is that there's Kizuhara Leo, who is actually down in 10th, Rio is 11th. Michael Turner and Reba are currently behind this train, so they might need to actually pit pretty soon if they want to have a good shot. And Tanaro is also having a problem getting out of the box. Or rather, that is Liam Kai. Well, apologies for that. Really was having problems, and Tanaro was also not getting out. Oh, we are hearing some activity, but right now we got 4 cars who are stuck. So this might actually require a red flag. So apologies if we're gonna have to do this, but we're gonna have to reset the entire field and try to reset this qualifying session. Unfortunately, this would mean that the timer will be reset to 15 minutes, but we're gonna have to actually watch if the other cars are still going to be in. And unfortunately, we got 5 cars which are stuck, not being able to move. So this is actually something that we haven't seen before, so we're actually going to have to actually red flag this qualifying session until further notice, until we can get this fixed. So yeah, while we get to sort this problem out, we're most likely going to reduce the time in qualifying for at least this portion to only about 5 minutes, because we don't have much time left. And then just wanted to check on the rest of the field here. Zako 2024, and then all right, so we're going to boot the entire thing again. See if we could get this thing. So we're most likely going to have this 5-minute or 7-minute delay to see if we could get this thing back on our toes. So the timer will be reset to about 5 minutes, and all of the time that was set thus far in the first part of qualifying will be reset as well, so everyone will start from 0. Not the most ideal scenarios that, let's say, Chanel Markman would have, but I want to see at the very least 19 drivers trying to make the field without having to be stuck inside their pit box. So also we're going to also have a slight break here because there's a bit of a CPU issue. Yeah, Assetto Corsa has just crashed, so apologies if we're gonna have to. Okay, so we're gonna try to start back Assetto Corsa. Right now, it's not the best of starts right now. We were trialing some changes in the way we host the races. just to have some extra quality of life. But right now it's not working as intended from what we're seeing. But we, of course, we have reverted back. We've had actually reverted back to the classic system. So qualifying session is going to be resumed. Right now we only have just under 5 minutes left of this qualifying session to go. We got cars back out on track, but let's see which cars are out. And Tara's finally back out on track, and he is actually the first out. Don Elise is also back out. So we got cars going back out as usual. Barger is also going back out on track. That looks like Chanel Markman as well. Johan Sinful is out. There is Cashew. And UCM and Fabio, they're still stuck inside their box, and also Fabio's also out. Finally, we got this issue fixed. As we're getting this qualifying session to its final third of the session, the sun is actually shining much better, so you could drivers have a better chance of actually getting their tires warmed. Here's DuCM also out. Altanera has acres of space in front. He's gonna need to, at the very least, to try to put 20% of his efforts here in qualifying, well, at least for his entire race. So Altanera 20.913. This is his first sector time. Pretty decent from what we're seeing so far, but will it be the sectors that essentially put Antanera up front? Exiting turn 11, and now we can see Antanera really trying to blast the car. 44.875 into turn 12. Antanera needs a 153. 54.582 for Antanera, with Donnelly sitting a 315. Four drivers looking to complete their laps. Rio 54.725. Really is about to start his lap. Daniel Barger is about to complete his. 54.053 for Barger. Chanel Markman 54.337. Johan Sinful is going to be setting a 54.521. Michael Turner is about to start his lap. Richie Rubble and his 54.396 for the 22. Cashew 54.279. Sean Go, it will be 54.238. Barger still on top. Liam Kai is about to start his lap. Fabi Mendes 54.659. Jake Martinez is about to start his lap. Here's Gio Dawson about to start his lap. Callan Gibbons too. Kids of Harley being stuck behind. Callan Gibbons not really helping his case. DuCM sets a 9 fastest lap, 54.624. I believe that is it. Reba sets a 54.189. All drivers are currently out making their qualifying laps. 54.63 for Hoshi Sonorio. Rio 54.453. Chanel Markman does not improve. 54.248. He's not able to find his Zane. And Johan Sinful from out of nowhere. 53.975 for the Matsuritsu driver. Michael Turner 10th. Richie Rod in 8th. Sean Go continues to improve. He's now in 3rd place. Liam Kai 5th. Fabio Mendes improves up into 12th place. Qualifying has become as hectic as ever. Callum Gibbons is about to finish his lap. Asano 15th. Gibbons 18th. Riva, who has set a decent lap, now puts himself into the front row with Sinful up front in front of him. And Tanarao in 11th place continues to stay inside the bubble. Needed to stay in contention at the bubble inside the top 10, but you can see here the competitiveness inside the top 10 is actually pretty good. About 10 drivers currently within 4 tenths behind each other, and now we have Michael Turner continuing to improve. He's now up into 9th place. Lexus cars continuing to show their dominance here in the Tsukuba circuit, as you can see here Asano trying to find some space and also some pace. Leo stuck in traffic from what we're seeing. stuck behind Gibbons, who hasn't been able to find some time. So they're actually losing some time. Final 10 seconds of qualifying are about to start. This is the last chance. These are the last chances for the drivers to start their laps. And Tanaro, it will be his final lap of him trying to get his car at least inside the top 10, trying to give the Onigiri of Nekomata something to smile about in Hololive GT3 after 4 races of pure disaster for Tanaro. Sinful 53.943 manages to break into the high 9s alongside Riva from what we're seeing. 13 cars looking to complete their laps. Riva has one more corner to deal with if he wants to try to find some gains. He does find 1/100th of a second on that second sector. Will it be provisional pole? Yes, it does. 53.904 for the SSRB driver from Italy. Kaminari Riva, I believe, is going to be on course to set his first pole position for Shishiro Botan this season. Daniel Barger doesn't have anything to say about it. That will be the end of qualifying as the final drivers cross the line. It is Kaminari Riva who is going to be on pole position for the Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race. Very interesting Lexus front row from what we're seeing here with Shishiro Botan's number 43 car piloted by Riva. It basically controlling the reins here at the Tsukuba circuit. The Lexus cars are trying to show their pace back after a disappointing 2 races, which only meant that only four Lexus cars make the Tsuyo, with the rest of them condemned to race in the Zako first. So anyways, let's take a look into the starting lineup here at the Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race, with Kaminari Riva currently leading the way for everyone in that Shishiro Botan number 43, 53.904 is the time. And then we have Johan Sinful for Natsuro Matsuri also alongside him in second place. Shango starts third place in Ichijo Ririka in his debut Regloss race. Debut Hololive GT3 race for Ichijo Ririka, the highest placed Regloss car currently in the field. Daniel Barger starts 4th for Hoshimaki Suisei. And then we have 5th place Jake Martinez for Hyodoshi Ao, also a Regloss entrant. Same goes for Liam Kai, 6th place for Todoroki Hajime. Chanel Markman starts 7th for Jufute Raden, also a Regloss entrant, with Mama Cashew, the other JP class entrant for Tsunamaki Watame in 8th. Mike Zenner starts 9th for Shirogai Noel, alongside Don Elise 10th, the last of the Regloss cars. They are currently very, very competitive here, already making the top 10 for all 5 of these cars. And Naro starts 11th for Okayu. 12th place goes to Richie Inishira coming from P number 22. And then Rilo starts 13th for Sakamata Chloe alongside Calvin Gibbons 14th for Roboco. Fabio Mendes 15th for Hakui Koyori alongside Hyuta Asano 16th for Aqua. And then we have Maverick UCM 17th for Omar Polka, with Hoshizuna Rio 18th for Nakari Ayame, and Kizuhara Leo starts 19th for Murasaki Shion. Again, as we're saying, it's an interesting qualifying session with the 2 Lexus cars occupying the front row. We'll see where it leads from here as we're about to get this start finally underway. First Hololive GT3 race in 3 months after months of Formula Hololive Japan and International. This has got to be a refreshing sight for the series and for the organization in general. And that being said, we are now getting this race finally underway, with Kaminari Riva starting on pole position with Johan Sinful in second place. The Tsukuba 400 is about to get underway here in the Zako series, and the race gets underway, and this is not what we're looking for. We're gonna have to retry this. Start here. The start has been aborted due to some ancillary issues. So we're gonna try to start this race again. Hopefully, we're not gonna be seeing some massively weird starts going on. Hope that these drivers are not going to immediately steer to the right. And finally, we have the race properly started. And we have Kaminari Riva actually launching through very well here, coming into turn 1. Drivers bunching up into the first corner, and there's already a rubbing of bodywork, and that is Mama Cashew being on the worst end of it as he now drops down into 8th place. Kaminari Riba maintains the lead at the moment. Shango now up into 2nd place. Sinful now in 3rd. Martinez jumps up to 4th. Barger having serious front end damage in 5th place. Markman is in 6th. Liam Kai 7th. Cashew is in 8th. Michael Turner 9th. Don Ellis rounds out the top 10 with Liu and Gibbons battling out for 13th. Wait, sorry. I forgot that the intermission is still on. We're going to have to abort the start. Sorry about that. So we're going to have to abort the start. Sorry about that. So we're going to restart the session once again. And this time it will be for real this time. And this time for the Tsukuba 400 Zako series race is Kaminari Riba on pole position with Johan Sinful in 2nd. Again, the race gets underway. And again, it's Kaminari Riba who has a very, very good launch into the 1st corner. And you can see here, will there be bodywork being rubbed again? That is going to be the case as you see Mama Kasha gets shoved off by Chanel Markman, and with Don Ellis literally on the left side of him, he isn't able to move anywhere. Anyways, it's still Kaminari Riba in the lead, but this time it's Johan Sinful 2nd, Gold 3rd, Barger 4th, Martinez 5th, Markman 6th, Liam Kai inside 7th place, Cashew 8th, Michael Turner 9th, and Tara now getting inside the top 10. Oh, and down the inside goes Antara against Elise for the top 10 spot. Elise gave it a good run there, but right now it's going to be in the case of Antara trying to defend his position. And as you can see here, he's at the very least holding on to his spot. And now also you can see here Elise being under pressure from Rod, Jake Martinez and Daniel Barger battling it out for 4th place. Lap 2 has just started here with Riba still in control of this race. 98 laps of racing. We're now at 97 laps to go. DuCM and Gizar Leo battling out for their own positions. They've now gone up one position apiece. Gizar Leo, I believe, gains 2 due to him already starting at the back. He's making some decent progress at the race as he's trying to shuffle DuCM out of the equation. And now you can see more battles here between Richie Watt and Ri Liu. Has a position for now, but for Riley actually has a better run, at least from what we're seeing. Almo Riley is number 96, but right now he is not getting there. Riley trying to still catch Riba. I mean, everyone's still catching Riba, but in particular he's catching up to Rod. 54.547 for Riba as he sets the fastest out of this race. Tries to pull away against Johan Sinful. And then we have Sean Go actually losing touch to Sinful and Riba. He's now a full 2nd behind. So Sean Go at the very least needs to try to pick up the pace, but if tire conservation is the game, then he might be on a good run. Okay, so Mario here just wanted to check on who's going to pit first. And for what we're seeing here, Antaro's going to go for an undercut strategy. And it's going to be a bold strategy at that. Same goes for Liam Kai, because previous drivers who have tried a undercut strategy here in Tsukuba, at least Formula Hall, and have gone on to win each of their respective races. So Antara and Liam Kai might have something to play for, but at the same time, will it be good enough for them to actually get things rolling? And of course, Sinful has also lost touch to Riba. He's now 1 second behind the leader, Johan Sinful. Everyone's just about 4/10 of a second behind each of the drivers up front at the very least. Leo's now about 4/10 behind DuCM, but DuCM is actually gone back into the status quo. Now about 5/10 behind. Huge outside, everyone's now gone into single file. Close racing is there, but overtakes are not going to be the name of the game here, at least on track here in Tsukuba. The nature of this circuit calls for for you to be smart and to be savvy on your pit calls and your pit strategies. Whoever could nail down the pit strategy the best will be the driver that has the best chance to win this race, of course, apart from having a very good qualifying session on which Red Bull Central and will have absolutely taken advantage of. Nice to see Ryu actually still being there somewhat. He was showing up in the first part of the qualifying session before the reset happened. Here's Ryu in 13th place. Of course, he's looking to make some gains after Sakamata Glory has recently shown usage back onto the original uniforms in her own live concert. I'm sure it's only for her. Only she gets to use it, with the rest of the live concert being marred by usage of the Blue Journey uniform and the Bright uniform. Again, Ryu is going to try to take advantage of wherever he could find that appearance. Here's Ron at least trying to catch up to Alcantara again. Now the gap's dropped down to 4 seconds. Well, no, rather 4/10 of a second. Sorry about that. That being said, we're now around 5 laps complete. Whoops, 6 laps complete with Reba, Sinful, and Go already crossing the line as we speak. Back onto the race field monitor. Some drivers we will be seeing drivers pitting at around lap 70 by the latest portion. And looking at Antaro, who will be pitting in around lap 40 plus at the earliest. So everyone's going to be smack dab in their pit stop strategies as we speak. As you can see here, nice view from Elise to get herself in good contention, I think, against Antaro, who's stuck behind Turner, and Turner's stuck behind Cashew. So Cashew is actually the odd one out here. He's already sustained a good amount of damage from the start, so he's gonna be trying to, at the very least, manage his pace. And looking at Mohamed Cashew as well, he is actually one of the late drivers who will be making their late pit stops. So he's not going to be pitting until very late in this race. So he's going to go for an overcut strategy to try to bring fortunes for the Watame number 3. Of course, the Watame car has not been seeing a lot of results since 2022, especially given that Watame has also deserted use of the original uniforms in favor of the right uniform. But the big problem is that Cashew wasn't able to capitalize on that in Formula Hololive, so he now has to deal with racing on Saturday in both Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3. Here's Mama Cashew still hanging on to 8th place at the very least, so should still be good on paper. So strap in as we're getting into a procession. Not much racing will be going on at the moment, as drivers are going to be thinking of actually making their cars into the finish line. But there is going to be a stand-up performance here, looking at Sean Gove. Now, he has not driven a Lexus before in ARO competitions, but this is of course his first time driving for Ichijo Ririka. His first time driving for the Regloss cars. First time back in Hololive GT3 since the end of the 2023 season, where he last raced, of course, for Minato Aqua. And now, here's Sean Go coming into the first corner. See if he is actually getting close there to Sinful. Actually 2/10 faster than Sinful on that last lap. So there might be something for Sean Go for him to try to fight. You can see here how difficult it is to navigate it. So it may just be a small circuit, but it's a circuit where you have to be on your toes throughout the entire lap, because there's only like 2 straights where you can just take it easy for about 2, 3, 4 seconds. Well, apart from that, it's all focused from here. As you see here, on coming into the first hairpin onto the inside of the circuit, he really had to lift off and brake, literally on the right-hand kink before the left-hand hairpin. Just shows you how much you need to focus here in the circuit. No lapse in concentration, otherwise you're going to be in the wall. Chanel Markman now improves. He's now up into 6th place, trying to catch Daniel Barger, who has been on a hot streak as of late. His clutch top 5 performance at Sportsland Sugo helped secure him the CEO Cup spot on the final race of the Formula Hololive fan season for Hoshimaki Suisei. Then again, Suisei is very well committed to the original, to the bright uniforms these days. Fully committed to the bright uniforms these days. She's essentially abandoned use of the original idle uniforms. Just looking at Barger here in Hololive GT3 again, he pulls up a Houdini-esque performance with him actually performing very well here in Hololive GT3. He's inside the top 5. But then again, this is alongside other Zako entrants who did not make the Suyo, so competition is not going to be at their best. So Barger, we'll assume that if Barger does well here in the Suyo, it doesn't mean that Barger will actually do very well in if Barger does well in the Zako, that doesn't mean he will perform very well in the Suyo, because the Suyo is actually the step up from what we're seeing. But of course, everyone will have an equal chance of competing in the qualifiers, and of course Barger wasn't able to capitalize. He was fully committed to the original uniform, Hololive GT3 that is, for Barger, but Suisei said otherwise. She's gonna go for the bright uniforms instead. Very peculiar for Hoshimaki Suisei, that's what I can say. I can't complain any further, but whatever the case is, Barger at least had to work with what he's got, and of course he didn't make the Suyo, so for me it's not going to be too much of a surprise. But for Barger, at the very least, he tried his best, so he's going to try to at least go guns blazing here in the Zako series, at least in Hololive GT3. Of course, he still has to compete for the CEO Cup on Sunday. But of course, for in Hololive GT3 is the Zako, so he's going to try to work with what he has at the moment. We're about to start lap 14 here. Reba is currently up there on basically controlling this race. She's now slowed down just a bit. Same goes for Simple and Go. Martinez, Barger, and Markman have finally caught up. Markman's actually looking to fight Daniel Barger, so watch out for that. And you can see here, Rio is actually at the final corner already. Reba's already at the hairpin, so you can sense that the lap cars might actually come on lap 40 onwards, or maybe even earlier if the guys at the back who are actually going to be a bit slower and the guys at the front get faster, of course. Lap 15 here in the Super Bowl 400 in the Hololive GT3 Japan Zako series, where we race drivers who do not make the CEO Cup in the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan series qualifiers duke it out at the very least for the consolation prize. Gives them an extra reason to continue racing despite not qualifying for the CEO. They still have a full season's worth of races to fight for. Right now we have Go currently still on the hunt against Sinful, speaking up the top 3. Let's take a look into the race field monitor once again. And DuCM actually has a bit of an error in the fuel load. Like, we actually cannot read how much fuel he's having. There might be an investigation on this on DuCM's end, because if we can't read the fuel monitor, he might be cheating on the fuel tank thing. So if he actually runs 0 pit stops in this entire race, then the race control may actually not be surprised to actually hand out a disqualification for DCM as it stands due to irregularities in field, because right now the race field monitor reads 0 for DCM, and right now that would mean that we don't know how much fuel DCM has at the moment, and thus we cannot properly confirm if DCM is actually going to make a 0 stop or a 1 stop. But if he does make a stop, he will most likely be cleared of disqualification, because he will have at the very least done at least 1 pit stop, filling in the pit window at the very least. Watch out for DCM. He might be on a gray area, but soon enough, if there is actually proof that he is in the black, there might not be any surprise to actually put him into disqualification. Speaking of chances in this race, here's Chanel Markman already making his move up into 5th place against Daniel Barger. Nice nice move down the inside at turn 1, making use of that final corner to gain a lot of speed against Barger for him to steal top 5 spot. This car showing dominance here in Tsukuba. No surprises here, as the last 2 winners in the Tsukuba Hololive GT3 races would end up being Callum Gibbons and Vladislav Damasev, who won both splits A and B respectively in last year's Hololive GT3 Japan Series split season. Lin Kai loses a huge amount of touch there to 5th and 6th, as he's 7 seconds behind. Of course, representing another Hololive device member, if that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, Regos member Todoroki Hajime is being represented by Liam Kai, who is a regular in Formula Hololive International, as he is actively representing Pacos Bales. But in this Formula Hololive International off-season, he said that it's been too boring to just not race. So he's going to take the opportunity to take to the track and try to race here, regardless here in Tsukuba right now, at the very least on a part-time basis. 4 Regos drivers are part-timers, with only Shango being committed to run full-time for Rika. Anyways, potential battles to look out for. We have Liam Kai still losing touch to Barger in 6th place. Rio currently at turn 1. Kaminari Reba is already at turn 1. Or rather, he's already at turn 11. So we have Gibbons and Rio going side by side at the hairpin. One of the hairpin corners here. You can see here Rio actually manages to get the move done against Gibbons, who's now down into 14th place. Check on DCM's field monitor, and he is still glitching out. So there's going to be a bit of an investigation on DCM's, and especially at the end of the race to see if he gets disqualified, assuming that he doesn't pit. Now, if you know about DCM's story, it was because of pit stop strategies and basically a fuel, I can't remember the name, but fuel mileage. Yeah, it's a fuel mileage pit stop strategy for him to essentially make the end of the Tsukuba Grand Prix Split B race for him to en route to win his first Formula Hololive Japan win for Omar Polka. Reba and DCM, despite having swapped rides at the start of the 2024 season, has seen decent successes with their respective rides. Reba has of course been proven himself to be a race winner in for Shiro Bolton. Likewise for Maverick DCM, both in Formula Hololive Japan for their current representing talent, for current talents represented. Here's Callum Gibbons again, having a good run at the exit off the final corner for him to make a move down into turn 1 against Riley. Riley has to leave some space. Gibbons is under attack right now, and Gibbons is gonna try to hang around in 13th place, and right now he will stick into his position. Great racing action from Gibbons, and now here's the battle you might want to look out for. The Koyo cars are at it again. Bit of a highlight here for both Koiri and Chloe, both of them in their respective birthday live concerts in both March and May for both Koiri and Chloe respectively. Both of them have at the very least gone back to using the original Idol uniforms, although it's only for a solo run. So this will give a bit of an impetus for both Liu and Mendes to try to rekindle that rivalry between them. See if there's anything coming out. "21 laps complete here in Tsukuba circuit in the Tsukuba 400 split Zako series race. And right now we have still Reba in control. And as you can see here, the three Lexus cars have already pulled away by about a second or two. Well, Sean Gross's gap to Martinez is actually about a second. And now we have Chanel Markman trying his best to pass his fellow in-class compatriot, Jake Martinez, who's currently in 4th place despite having a car that's not suited to the task. And by not suited to the task, I mean racing here in Tsukuba, where the Lexus cars are absolutely showing their dominance. Markman is going to try again. All he needs is a good exit off of the final corner. Let's go on board Markman. And as you can see here, he's absolutely gaining on Jake Martinez here. Will he be thinking of a move down the inside? Martinez actually, at the very least, keeps the gap to himself. Oh, gets very close there, but unfortunately that's not going to be it for Markman for this lap. Here's Rio at the exit of the turn 11. Here's Reba coming into the Dunlop Bridge. Looks like a bridge, but it's not really a bridge, but whatever. Anyways, Reba into the hairpin he goes. Rio now at turn 1, so the lap car conundrum might actually come a bit later, around estimates may say lap 45. We're officially about to reach the halfway, the quarter stage of this race as Reba starts to cross the line to start lap 25. Usually Markman again getting close to Martinez, but nothing is coming out. Oh, Markman really tries to attack from that angle, but it's not going to work. He's absolutely going to abuse the tires from what we're seeing. Anyways, everyone, welcome to the stream. If you're watching here, please leave a like onto the stream. It'll give us a lot of, we will give you a lot of appreciation. We will appreciate the likes if you drop a like into the stream, and if you want to see more of Hololive themed racing based on the Idol uniforms, feel free to subscribe to the Adak-RMS organization channel. We got a lot of racing action coming up, with next week actually being the start of the Formula Hololive Japan CEO Zako Cup portion of the season. This is where the big money comes in, so if you don't want to miss out on some great racing action being represented by with Hololive members representing the cars, feel free to like and subscribe. Ooh, as you can see here once again, Markman gets very close onto Martinez. But still not close enough, not going to risk a dive off for what we're seeing. UCM at this rate will be outside the points, but it will be to no avail, but he will be recorded with a 19th place finish if, of course, there is a fuel line irregularity in his car. So right now, the stewards are going to be in serious investigation onto the team. Maybe they're going to argue that maybe this could be pulled off at a circus and not a racetrack. And you see him, of course, representing Omar Polka, things that, you know, if he can try to extend the field so that he will not have to pit for as long as he should. While also keeping this high level of performance, that's going to be good. Meanwhile, we have Chanel Markman and Jake Martinez finally in a battle. Chanel Markman finally gets to pass Jake Martinez. He's now up into 4th place. It's a Lexus 1, 2, 3, 4 Lexus podium sweep as it stands right now with 3/4 of the race remaining. Oh, as you can see here, Gibbons tries to find a way against Rod at turn 1, but to no avail right now. There's a huge line of cars in between Antanarao and Rio. So essentially, Antanarao is dictating the pace on which when lap cars will start becoming an equation. Anyway, Chanel Markman finally gets the fastest out of the race, 54.2284, the Jufu Teiraden driver. He's on the hunt. Ooh, it's very close. Markman, and now he's going to try to catch up to Go at the very least to try to stamp the other regloss car into the podium positions. And then we have also Kaminari Reba already piling on with the lead that he has at the moment. He is currently leading the Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race by about a second to Sinful right now. And Sean Go is waiting in the wings to attack Sinful right now. Talking about Sean Go at the moment. Sean Go obviously represents Ichijo Ririka in Aero's Japanese season in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive, the only confirmed regloss full-time driver. And right now, he's going to try his absolute best to try to mount a challenge, a charge against Sinful up here, Sinful up front. Here's Go. Of course, Shango representing Ichijo Ririka, an up-and-coming president. She wants to be called as the Shacho. Of course, that means president in Japanese. Chanel Markman fastest lap with 4.225. So he's actually slowly catching up to the leading Rio. So, anyways, back on to Go and Ririka. With Regloss's release in late 2023, he has already decided that he's moving into a regloss ride, with him moving into the number 66, initially numbered as number 65, Ichijo Ririka cars in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive. Again, nice to see more viewers into the stream. Welcome everyone to the Adak-RMS organization. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this race somewhat, although we're racing in Tsukuba circuit, so it's going to be given that there's going to be minimal racing action. So anyways, we have Antara looking to make the first pit stop from what we're seeing. Also, same goes for Liam Guy, so we're going to be watching out for them for now, so stay tuned. Anyways, back onto the track here as looking into the other cars out there, we can see not much of a change right in here at the moment, but pay attention to Liam Kai. Liam Kai is, of course, currently in 8th place at the moment, looking to make his first pit stop. So watch out for him. Anyway, speaking about Liam Kai right now, he has a good amount of similarities to Todoroki Hajime, as he is and both Kai and Hajime are pretty much question marks, mysterious if you will. You really could not predict, except it is actually a fact that you actually cannot predict how these or basically how these driver and talent combo would go. Riba now in the fast lap before 203. He's now stretching his legs in the Shirobota number 43. So anyways, back on to Liam Kai. Kai is of course he doesn't really want to reveal a lot of information about himself, so but he is a guy who does his sim racing. He's got life sorted. He is basically a guy who is pretty much a calm person when you deal with him. And then we have Todoroki Hajime. She could be anything. And right now, for what there is a constant about Hajime is that, based on consensus, she speaks in baby language and she speaks in gibberish. Very, very nice, but she does have her talents shown on stage when the situation persists. So you can watch out for those moments as we're checking into the next few laps in this race. So there's one thing in common about Kai and Hajime. It's that both of them are very much unpredictable, and you just don't know what they're going to do next, especially given that Liam Kai is of course also actually representing Hako's Mails full time in Formula Hololive International. Into the rest of the field, we might be seeing some battles here, but right now we're looking at a pretty stretched out field here. We're already at lap 35, and right now no call to the pit stop except for Antana Rao and Liam Kai, and right now both of them are not going into the pits as it stands. Now if all cars are going to be running with the same amount of fuel right until the end, or rather not making a pit stop, so at this point we might actually still give results provisionally from what we're seeing, but this is going to be a pretty weird race, not going to lie, if this happens. So, looking at Johansson Falls now set the fastest lap of the race, 54.165, trying to catch the Kamen River right now. So apologies if we're gonna have some slight silence in the commentary, as of course I'm literally the only one here. As of course, I'm gonna have to save the throat for also the next race tomorrow. Again, there's literally no one who is able to also do commentary at the very least, let alone having to host the entire race. So a lot of these things everything is being handled by a single person. So please bear in mind the amount of discrepancies in any of these streams. I'm literally the only person who is doing this, and I'm also doing this at a hobby level. I have to keep doing this at a hobby level due to the whole Cover Corp derivative work guidelines thing. So please bear in mind what we can do here. And if anyone from Cover are actually watching the stream, this is my way to showcase my appreciation and gratitude to Cover Corporation, and also my utmost condolences to the departure of Eugene A-chan, as she has officially announced her departure from Hololive yesterday due to unavoidable family matters. She will not be able to leave for, she will not have the intended leave for 6 months, so she's technically forced to resign due to her putting family first over the whole thing. So we again would like to wish Hye-chan the best of luck in her next endeavor. Hopefully she's able to replicate the success that she's had on Cover Corporation onto wherever she is in other areas. And of course, her efforts and her work rate is never going to be forgotten in anywhere in Hololive, especially here in the Aero, as we have Dawn Ellis finally coming into the pits. Also looking into some extra discrepancies here, looking at Liam Kai and Atsuran Tarao, they're also not pitting. So we're gonna have to watch out for them right now, because this might be a Nissan-wide thing. So there's of course the nuclear option to essentially disqualify all Nissans if they continue to infringe on the fuel loads like this, and especially if they don't make their first pit stop at the very least. And right now we're looking at Antara and Liam Kai just continuing on as usual, so a lot of suspicion is on the garage right now onto what these Nissans are doing. They're obviously continuing on without any sort of fuel issue from what we're seeing. They're still able to continue with no problem, especially given that we've already completed 39 laps here in Tsukuba. Again, since the start of this race, Kamen Riba has been in control of this race, and now we're seeing lap cars play a role in this race, as Rio is now the last car on the lead lap. Hoshizuna Rio stuck behind, stuck in between Mohamed Cashew and Daniel Barger in between the 6th and 7th spots. Sun slowly setting here in Tsukuba right now. As you can see, the lights are starting to come on. Here's Barger trying to catch up to Martinez in 5th place, who is likely to not pit. So we're going to have to pay attention to how the Nissans are going to develop. I think this is going to be the first time we might actually have this issue, because the last time we had a fuel line discrepancy problem was back in April 2022, when the Lexus teams tried to trick the organization by saying that they have this amount of size in the fuel tank, and then they were proven that they have all oversized fuel tanks, and so they would essentially they essentially counted in the split A race, but the split B race it was fixed. Anyways, this is a very complicated thing for only one person to essentially handle, as that same person is doing commentary, race hosting, and just graphic, and basically working in the whole media transition and all that stuff. Anyways, there might be a battle here on our hands as Richie Raw gets overtaken by Calvin Gibbons. Gibbons now up in 11th place. Drivers who come into the pits, looking into the Nissans, they are absolutely showing a lot of suspicion, as we now get to see both Antanarao, Liam Kai, and actually Maverick DuCM, as we previously mentioned, already on the red line when it comes to fuel. So there's going to be a bit of a big question mark to see if the Nissans are going to escape with some sort of punishment or not. Right now they are trying to take a bit of an educated guess as to how it works. And so right now there's going to be a bit of a question mark as to how the fuel discrepancy issue is going to be dished out. Of course, there's no official rulebook in the series, too small for it to have an actual rule book, and of course the AI of course drives the cars for accessibility and participation. Again, we're seeing no pit lane activity for any Nissan currently in the field. Here's Rod. And it's mostly just a case of the sun just being covered in the clouds. That's why you see just less visibility here. And meanwhile, we have Rio and DuCM battling it out, with Rio now up into 16th place. DuCM now dropped down to 17th. Here's the lap cars against elite lap cars. Hololive having to fend off against the countless amount of lap cars, currently in the lead lap. We have Reba and Centerfold currently leading the way. And we have Shango third, and then Chanel Markman fourth. So it's going to be a Lexus battle of sorts between these four cars. And you can see here, Centerfold trying to make a move against Reba onto turn 11, but that has not worked. Looking at Shango, who's going to try to find some way past. He's not close enough. And now, coming back in turn 1, you can see here Reba tries to make a move against Kizuhara Leo, but Leo is not going to take this line down. He's not going to make it easy for elite lap cars to have their way. Shango is also set to be called into pit lane pretty soon. But of course, we also have Dawn Elise being the only one being called into pit lane as it stands, and right now she is somewhat struggling against Daniel Barger. She is struggling to actually overtake. And then we have Liam Kai overtaken by Michael Turner. Turner up into 8th, Liam Kai in 9th. Well, you can see here that Asano and Rio going side by side. They're coming to turn 1 there. Rio actually going down the inside of Asano. And looking at Fujisono Rio though, Rio is actually not done his pit stop. He's actually going to be pitting pretty late to this race. So we're going to be seeing if there's going to be some battles being done. And here we have Johan Sinful now challenging against Kamina Reba for the race lead here after Reba got stuck behind Leo. And now we have the top 4 cars now added for the battle for the lead. Oh, that's Shango going wide. Almost finding an opportunity against Marvin. Now we have finally get to see Liam Kai coming into the pits. So they're going to be taking a look into his fuel load. Same goes for Maverick DuCM. He's also coming into the pits. So looking at Maverick DuCM, he will be good for the rest of this race. Same goes for the likes of Liam Kai. They will be good until the end of this race. But Liam Kai actually has a pretty quick pit stop. Also pretty interesting to see how it happens. Anyway, all this bit of a battle here. Here is Mohamed Cashew trying to go around the inside of Don Elise. Don Elise is actually having a very good grip onto the outside of turn 1. Manages to, at the very least, defend against Mohamed Cashew. Liam Kai's dropped down to 17th place after his pit stop. Johan Sinful drops down to 8th. DuCM drops down to last place, not having to deal with Michael Turner, who is actually lapping DuCM. So right now, penalty averted, disqualification avoided for DuCM and Kai. It's going to likely be the case for the rest of the Team Nissan drivers, and looking at Tano, he's going to be pitting in the middle of the park. And looking at Shango, I believe has also pitted, as well as Chanel Markman and Johan Sinful. Shango has actually beaten the 2 drivers who he was battling, Markman and Sinful. So he's now up into a net 2nd place amongst the drivers who have already made their pit stops. Here's Callum Gibbons with the fastest lap of this race, showing to everyone he still got it in that Roboco number 64. Life of engineering on his end. He will drive anything that has 4 wheels on it. If it has a powertrain, 4 wheels, and a steering wheel and a seat, this is what Gibbons will do. He'll just drive the car like no tomorrow, because that's just who he is. He's a guy that lives, breathes, and drives cars. Take that what you will, but anyway, we have Mama Cashew now overtaking Daniel Barger for a position, using Don Elise as a pick. Daniel Barger doing pretty well in 4th place, despite Suisse not giving a damn about the original uniforms. But now we can see here, ooh, there is Elise trying to make a move for herself, for her to get into some clearance. That's what she has at the moment. Elise currently in 17th place, trying to find something. Reba has yet to make a pit stop. Martinez has yet to make a pit stop. Looking at Martinez, he has about 12 laps on paper, but you're expecting him to only pit around the next 10 to, or rather 15 to 20 laps in this regard. So there's a lot of variety in the pit stops here. The race starts to get pretty interesting from here. Looking at the progress chart, the biggest loser right now is currently Liam Kai, who's lost 10 positions. But let's be fair, here is the amount, here are the drivers in front of him, and of course we have Antara already making his pit stop, Leo Mendes, Rio Asano, and Leo, so he will be losing just about maybe 3 positions for what we're seeing here. And here's Oshizuna Rio trying to clear Fabio Mendes down the inside of turn 1. A lot of cars only on the lead lap. We now have Rio now up into 11th place. And now we have Jake Martinez confirming his pit stop. Here's Shango. Here's Markman. Here's Sinful. Jake Martinez is still stationary. The undercut strategy is showing some of the drivers are actually having a pretty good pit stop strategy for what we're seeing here. Martinez is still stationary inside his pit box. He's not gonna have a good time for what we're seeing here, but remember, we still have drivers who have yet to make a pit stop in front of him. Really is actually going to the main straight right now. Jake Martinez exits into 9th place. Into 9th place there, Jake Martinez. As Reba continues to make his run. Now clear Fabio Mendes. Speaking of which, really overtaken by Hojizono Rio there. You saw it in the background. Here's Reba coming into the penultimate corner here, just and lap 52. Now having to deal with the lap car of Rio Leo, who is currently in 11th place. He's going to be set to become one of, I believe, 2 drivers to make a double in both the Formula Hololive and Hololive GT3 Japan seasons, and that is to win in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive in the same season, at least for this year. The other drivers who have been able to do so this season is, of course, Wim Olgo, who won both season openers in both Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive. Of course, for Olgo is for his first race entry in Formula Hololive and in Hololive GT3. So in this case, both of them are essentially round 1, so we should count that as well. Of course, Reba is going to be en route to do the same thing. He has yet to win for Botan in Hololive GT3. If he's able to do so, he should be able to match Thomas Snooks for the amount of wins for Shishiro Botan, as well as being the first driver to win for Shishiro Botan since Thomas Snooks in 2022. And now coming to the main straight, Reba's getting very closer than ever, if you will, to try to challenge Ryu. Ryu almost gets shuffled off. again, looking into the race field monitor, and Taro is actually pitting again for what we're seeing here. And Taro's already pitted once. Why is he pitting again? I think there's an issue in the car. Oh my goodness. Lady Luck deals a bad hand once again on Antanarao and for Nekomata Kayu in Hololive GT3. And I think that should be it for Antanarao. He's got a car issue. He's retired. Once again, Lady Luck deals a bad hand on Antanarao. He's done very, very decently up until this point. And now he's going to be set to retire with a car issue as he couldn't get his car refired and restarted. And now we have Daniel Barger coming into the pits from third place. This will put some drivers up front. We have Michael Turner and Mohamed Cashew yet to make their pit stops. Very, very unlucky for Antanarao once again. We will have Chanel Markman trying to clear DuCM, who is currently down in 18th place. DuCM gets shuffled off. Johan Sinfold makes a move down the inside on Sean Go for him to get himself into third place. Chanel Markman ends up becoming better of the drivers inside this trio of Lexus cars as he's now up into second place. Net. Not before Johan Sinfold tries to challenge against Sean Go. Callum Gibbons, though, up into 7th place. Of course, if you look at the pit stop cycles, Gibbons has yet to make a pit stop, leading the drivers who have made their pit stop. Chanel Markman leads, but of course Riba is still the current leader, and he has yet to make a pit stop. Will the overcut strategy work out for him? And then we have Gazara Leo also coming into the pits, but he should be fine. Sucks to be in Antanarao this race in Hololive GT3. Crashes in the first 4 races of the season. And just when you think that he'll just have a clean race just this once in Hololive GT3 this season, this happens. And his poor run in Hololive GT3 is continued. Antanarao just isn't able to catch a break in Hololive GT3. In Phenomenal Hololive, it's a different story where he's able to, at the very least, score consistent high finishes and actually culminating in a podium in the Sugo Grand Prix Split A race. So that's one thing going his way. But in Hololive GT3, it just hasn't been his season so far. No amount of commiseration can alleviate the amount of pain Antanarao is currently facing this season. Never mind the geopolitical battles, never mind the geopolitical issues that Antanarao might face. This is just absolutely gut-wrenching and painful and just cruel. Just cruel to no degree. Or cruel to all sorts of degrees, actually. Speaking of Sasanov gets into the pit lane right now for him to have his car serviced. 57 laps complete here in Tsukuba circuit in the Tsukuba 400 race. Here's really already making his pit stop. Asano's already getting out. He's not down in 18th place. And as you can see here, as the pit stop cycles have shown, the Lexus cars are absolutely showing. But then again, the Lexus car, most of the Lexus cars have yet to make their pit stop. With Rio, Gibbons, Turner, Cashew, and Reba being the drivers in question that have yet to make their pit stops. Just wanted to check onto the current situation here. Well, we do have some interesting battles going on here. We have DuCM and oh, that's Chanel Markman actually clearing DuCM. DuCM now back into the points, but of course he's a lap down right now. This will do Markman a huge amount of wonders if we at the very least be able to clear DCM, but right now he's not able to clear DCM. DCM is actually giving him a run for his money. .59 laps complete here in the Tsukuba 400 Zako series race. It's 3:15 at here in Tsukuba, and right now we have about 29 laps to go before we can get this race properly concluded. And down the inside once again goes Markman as he tries to clear DCM. Again, DCM showcases a lot of trouble for Markman, as Markman is still unable to clear. Looking at Sinful and Shango. Looking at Sinful's longboard is going to try to make use of this opportunity to steal at the very least second place from Markman. We'll be checking on Antanaral's replay right at the end to see what has exactly happened to Antanaral, whether it's another accident or just him having issues with the car. But Antanaral's bad luck in Hololive GT3 this season is just unbelievable. 5 races in a row where he has failed to finish for Nekomato Kayu in Hololive GT3. And that's just absolutely cruel. Anyways, on the inside goes Chanel Markman to defend against Sinful. As Sinful was actually on the hunt to challenge actually Markman. As you can see here, Sinful trying to catch up to Markman. Because Cashew and Turner are still down there. Count Gibbons actually beaten Jake Martinez. Bobby Mendes has already made his way into the pit stop, the pit box right now. And Sarah Russell having problems. Unfortunately, this will be it for him this race, as we mentioned earlier. Here's Chanel Markman trying to clear DCM once again, but remember the Nissans have a better straight line speed. A VR38 DETT having very good amount of horsepower, as you can see here, absolutely being able to catch up to the Lexus cars who have superior grip in the corners. And now you can see that with every failed pass, Sinful looks for more opportunities to get himself ahead of Chanel Markman on that Jufute ride at number 67. Downshifts on that V8, absolutely sublime. As Sinful tries to get closer and closer. Mama Casio finally makes his way to the pits. Michael Turner stuck behind Richie Wright, Cameron Riba, actually having a huge gap actually between Turner and Markman. As you can see here, Turner is stuck behind Richie Rod. 30 seconds gap between Riba and Markman, but remember, Riba has yet to make a pit stop this race. Casio continues to slowly fall down the order, but remember, Bobby Mendes is actually slightly catching up. Well, then again, Bobby Mendes is down in 18th place, so even if Fabio does catch up to Casio, it will only be for him to unlap against Casio Fabio Mendes. 63 laps complete here in Tsukuba in the Tsukuba 400 Zako series race here in the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan series, where the liveries of the cars are absolutely based on the original idol uniforms. Here's Fabio Mendes on board. You can see here how he gets his steering done at the final corner right at the end. Here we have Janssen Paul trying to clear DCM, as you can see here, Chanel Markman, and oh, there's contact between the two. nearly ends in tears and disaster for Sinful as the sun finally shines on the track once again. So there's going to be a lot of track warmth for the tires. They might fear that there might be too much warmth, so that is something that there may be some concerns going on here. Coming into the main straight, into turn 1, will Sinful make a dive bomb? The answer is going to be no, he's too far back. Shongo's looking for an opportunity to make the pass. Meanwhile, Chanel Markman stuck behind Michael Turner and Richie Reba now stuck behind Fabio Mendes and Mohamed Cashew. One car 2 laps down, the other 1 lap down. So absolutely something to watch out for in these next few laps as Reba. Here's Chanel Markman, of course, trying to catch up to Michael Turner, as Michael Turner was also yet to pit. Michael Turner, of course, is going to be pitting in the next few laps. What we're seeing here, Reba as well. Hoshizonoria will also apparently make his pit stop again, alongside Callum Given. From what we're seeing, might give them 5 more laps, maybe 6 to 10 more laps until they actually make their pit stop. So we got drivers like Reba, Turner, Gibbons, Rio, who are actually trying to extend their stints for as long as they can, so that they're able to maximize wherever they can in the pit stops. Wherever they can, just stay at front for as long as they can, and then spend less time in the pit lane. Hopefully, due to them not having to put in a lot of fuel. Because they still have to change the tires from what we're seeing. No one is able to set a 54. Reba almost now probably stuck behind Fabio Mendes and Mohamed Cashew. Michael Turner dictating the lead between Markman and Sinful as Rio finally comes into the pit lane right now. Here's Markman. Now coming to the clutches of Michael Turner once again. Rio's now got himself back out. He will exit in 12th place. Same goes for Janelle Markman. Sinful is only slightly faster. Turner is going to go around the outside of actually Richie Robb, but that's going to backfire. Now he's going to go side by side with Chanel Markman temporarily until he manages to get himself back up front. There might be a nudge between Markman and Turner. Nothing comes out of it, fortunately. Michigan Monitor, Antero still stuck there. Of course, he's out of this race. Turner, Reba, and Gibbons, the next driver to surely come into the pit lane right now. Looking into some drivers who've had some decent performances. Just wanted to look to highlight the fact that Callum Gibbons has now gone up into 6th place, despite starting where he did. Of course, we want to show you the progress chart right now. Actually, we just want to take a look into Go and Sinful as they're currently found themselves. Here we have Go side by side with Sinful. They were actually battling out since turn 1 this lap, and now you can see here Sinful having to defend against Go. Go manages to beat Sinful. He's now in 4th place. Anyways, back onto the track. Apologies for the slight background audio. Again, very unavoidable things at the moment. Anyways, looking at Shango, who has been able to gain a position or two. We're now 70 laps complete. Oh, and now it's coming at Riba. Still stuck behind the likes of Fabio Mendes here. Not looking very well. Not looking very good if he wants to maintain his lead. But he does have a 35-second gap. And looking at the rest of the field here, everyone's just okay with what they're having right now. Everyone's just going to be happy to just stay around like this until the end of this race. Meanwhile, we have Rod and Michael Turner actually going off there. That's going to open the door for Chanel Markman to actually make the move. Shango has cleared Maverick DCM. Markman's going to go around the outside. Onto the defensive goes Michael Turner. Both of them almost neck and neck, coming into the Dunlop corner, nearly making contact, both of them. Ooh. And as you can see here on the radar on the bottom right, they're still going side by side. Michael Turner still on Markman's left. Markman has the inside line though at turn 11. Riba finally comes into the pit lane as we speak. It's now or never for Markman, for Shango to try to get themselves up front. Riba is now getting onto the main straight. He should be able to maintain the lead. That has been an amazing pit stop strategy for Riba, as of course Markman, Go and Turner were stuck behind lap traffic. Riba was stuck behind lap traffic for a good amount, but he spent less time in traffic. Well, compared to Markman, Go and Turner, and Riba manages to maintain his lead. That now means Riba now has a 2.9 second lead now over Chanel Markman, who's now struggling to make a move against the likes of Bichiwa, who's currently a lap down for what we're seeing. Ooh, really trying to find something against Rod, but right now Rod is continuing his immense defensive pressure on Markman. Right now we're looking into some of the potential battles that we might want to take a look into. We still have Go and Michael Turner. Of course, Michael Turner has yet to make his pit stop from what we're seeing here. Also, Callum Gibbons, who have yet to make a pit stop. I forgot to highlight that part. Just wanted to check on the rest of the field here, see if there's anything. Here's Asano against Kizuhara Leo in Akushio, in a potential Akushio battle. Anyways, back onto the racetrack here in Tsukuba. We have 73 laps complete here in, again, an amazing circuit. We have the likes of Best Motoring, who of course are regulars in this racetrack. Their videos on essentially the video essentially talking about race cars or whatever, road cars drifting here in this amazing racetrack. Of course, when you want to talk about Japanese race cars, Tsukuba is a good place to talk about. We have GT-Rs, RCS, and NSXs racing here in Tsukuba as we speak right now. And right now they are on a roll. And of course we've seen some racing action. Of course we've seen some drama again. Fifth time unlucky for Altcern Chanarao, who has retired following his start to lap 49 after what looked to be a car problem, or was that a crash? Whatever the case here, and Taro is not continuing any further in this race, extending his non-points run to now 5 races now. 5 races without a win, and all of these are not exactly his fault. Sportsline Tsugo, he was involved in an accident. Autopolis involved in an accident. Okayama involved in an accident. Fuji involved in an accident. And just when he thought that he could have a clean race for once here in Tsukuba, boom, car failure. Well, we passed 75 laps here. About less than a quarter of this race to go here in Tsukuba Circuit to conclude the Tsukuba 400 split Zako Series race. Still have a lot to play for with especially Michael Turner and Callan Gibbons yet to pit. So the final picking order is yet to be concrete and essentially sealed. And here's the thing, Antaro is at least a mid-pack driver based on his initial pace, but the fact that he still has his issues with trying to finish these races, again, about all of these are outside of his, circumstances are outside of his control. So again, commiserations to Antaro for having such very, very horrible luck. Reba now having complete control of this race as Markman is still stuck behind the line of lap cars like Richie Rod, which allows Cameron Reba to just cruise on to what looks to be his first Hololive GT3 win. He's not had a Hololive GT3 win before ever since he started taking the helm in 2023. Obviously taking over Omar Polka ride in 2023 before moving on to the Shishiro Botan car in 2024, essentially swapping places with Maverick UCM at the end of the 2023 season. Great racing right now, as is the case. Also, if you're a GT3 fan, I just want to remind you about the Intercontinental GT Challenge, about that stuff. Suzuka was just recently announced to be a venue of the IGTC 2025 season, with the Suzuka 1000 kilometers being set to take place. So anyways, that's some pretty good miscellaneous information to talk about if you love your GT3 racing. Of course, we have GT3 racing right here. 20 laps to go, so the race should be concluded in about less than 20 minutes, barring any crazy mishaps. Kamine Reba has been in complete control of basically his control of this race so far. Right now, Reba is doing the best he can to, at the very least, seal the deal for the SSRB, for Shishiron. Of course, he is there for every Gen 5 member. He is a Gen 5 merchant. But if there's one thing that we want to highlight about him is that he's got some of his preferences, and his preferences, of course, include the likes of Shishiro Botan and Omar Polka, but of course he is now preferred Botan from what we're seeing. So anyways, looking into the rest of the field here, Turner and Gibbons yet to make their pit stops. This is going to be a bit concerning here. If they don't peel in to make their pit stop, there will be a possible investigation as to how they have their fuels loaded. If they get disqualified, at the very least, Antanara will jump into 17th place, but still not going to be enough for him to get up a points position or two due to the points only being available until 15th. And looking into the pit stop chart, only Turner and Gibbons have yet to make their pit stop. Please watch out for them if they are still in the legal area, if they're still in at the white, if you want to call it that, because there's black and white and all that stuff. You can see here a lot of drivers really trying to stretch the limits of this track, trying to find every single inch of the track, because 1 inch can give them a mile an hour. You can see a lot of dirt and dust kicking up. It's like rallying almost. Martin stuck behind Richie Rod, who is stubbornly not giving them any room for positions. Oh, and you can see here the Chijoria driver Shango trying to attack at the end of that hairpin. Nothing comes of it so far, so there might be some investigation looking into Turner and Gibbons to see if they are still within the legal area on the stop strategy as far as we're seeing. Meanwhile, Markman's still trying to push as much as he can on that car. Of course, he's getting close there to Rod, and here comes actually Hoshizuna Rio against Don Elise. Rio's now up into 11th place. Oh, and here's Markman finally making a move against Richie Rod here into turn 1. And now his eyes are set onto Riba, who's still struggling to make the pass onto Elise. Markman still has a lifeline to bring Jufute Redin her first Hololive GT3 win on Regloss's Hololive GT3 debuts. The race is now on. Riba still stuck behind Elise, Markman, and if Shango is able to pass Rod, it's going to be a 3-horse race for the win. It's going to be a 2-horse race for now. 56.455 for Riba. Let's see how Markman sets his lap. 54.527. About 2 seconds a lap faster for Chanel Markman. Game on. And now finally we get to see Riba clearing Don Elise, so Riba might have some sigh of relief. Still has to clear Hoshizuna Rio and Liam Kai, currently sitting in 11th and 10th respectively. Hondas in this split. 3 of them have failed to qualify from qualifiers, and one of them is from Regloss. 4 of the 20 Honda cars, and none of them are crashing inside the top 10. But if you're not Honda fans, because this is not the race you're looking for, the race they're actually going to look out for is actually the CO Series race that is going to happen tomorrow, where the 20 drivers still eligible to win the championship will compete against each other in 4 races to determine who will win the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Markman is on his own. Still needs to clear Don Elise though. Gap still at 8.1 seconds between Riba and Markman. They're both having an end-to-end race. Here's Rio trying to make a move against Liam Kai for 10th place. If they're still going side by side, both of them, Liam Kai's gonna lose a good amount of time. Of course, there's still 13 laps to go in this Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race. bit of a silence here to check on the proceedings here. Looking into the current state of affairs, Riba is still leading this race, but the gap's dropped down to 7.1 seconds. Riba is now stuck behind lap cars. Markman still needs to clear Don Elise. Here's Riba trying to find some space. Here's actually Hoshizuna Ryo making a move down the inside against Liam Kai for 10th place, and now this would mean that here's Liam Kai trying to defend against Riba. Oh, around the outside goes Riba. He was forced to go around the outside, and he's forced to go a long way out and loses out. Hartman knows he has to clear Don Elise as soon as possible if he wants to have any shot of actually making his way into this race winning position. Hoshizuna Ryo is now unleashed. He's set to chase down a bargain, but it could be too little too late for him. Riba now down the inside of Liam Kai. Liam Kai may not have a response. And Liam Kai just about has no response. Riba's ahead. So instead of one lap car, just he now has to deal with 2 lap cars. That's going to be the issue for Markman if he wants to have any shot of winning this race. .87 laps complete. Once this lap completes, we're officially going to go 10 to go. Gibbons, though, just wanted to check on both Gibbons and Michael Turner. They're both stretching their fuel loads unnecessarily, and right now the race officials are not going to be happy about this, actually, due to some of these drivers actually trying to kind of cheat the system. Because right now the fuel reading is a bit unstable from what we're seeing. So at this point, they're going to start actually asking questions. So there's a good chance that these drivers actually might be disqualified due to their fuel irregularities. So we're gonna have to pay attention to their advancements to see if they're gonna be disqualified or not. Whatever the case is, Markman is now caught up, just about caught up to Don Elise. There's now 2 Regals cars chasing 1 Regals car down a lap. Liam Kai is just about down a lap as he's been overtaken by Riba. So this would mean that only 3 of the Regals cars are on a lead lap, but it's a decent performance there for the Regals cars. As you can see here, Markman and Sean Go and Jake Martinez are currently inside the top 10. Liam Kai stayed inside the top 10 until the challenge from Hoshizuna Ryo has become too much. The Lioness Pride is absolutely roaring inside of the Kaminari Ribas' heart right now. He may be a referee when it comes to football, and maybe a race steward when it comes to the race, but when he is actually racing, he is going to try to at the very least give it all. 90 laps complete, 8 laps to go to decide the Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race. And given that Cal Gibbons and Michael Turner have yet to pit, we're still going to show you the progress chart anyways. Riba is trying to convert his pole to a win, and if we can confirm he has set the fastest lap of this race, this will be the first Hololive GT3 Grand Slam in history, at the very least since 2022, as Riba have not given up the lead since the start of this race. He stayed in the lead for the entirety of this race. He's going to be set to qualify. He's already qualified on pole. We're going to check again if he's had the fastest lap of this race so far. He's currently leading all laps so far, and if he can lead the next 7 laps en route to his win, and of course his fastest lap confirmed, This will mean that Riba will be the first Hololive GT3 driver to secure a Grand Slam. Oh, you can see here, that is actually a bump by Sean Go against Shanil Markman for him to steal second place. Talk about an aggressive move by Sean Go. That was bold. That was very, very bold there for Sean Go to actually just bump Shanil Markman at that hairpin corner. That was insane there by Sean Go to at the very least try to get himself into second place, but not before Shanil Markman has anything to say about it, but not before Sean Go makes his move down the inside against Liam Kai. Lap 93, and the race just continues to heat up. And now Shanil Markman tries to clear Liam Kai. There might be some issues for Markman. And right now we're seeing 7 Lexus cars inside the top 10, or rather 8 Lexus cars inside the top 10. All Lexus cars are inside the top 10 in the Zako series. Lexus cars showing again their promise, their potential in this series. They might be leaning themselves back. Anyways, 5 laps to go. Kamen Riba hasn't had a foot wrong in this race. He's just absolutely immaculate from what we're seeing here. Again, as we mentioned before, pole position. We're gonna need to confirm back on the fastest lap thing. We're also going to confirm back on to. We're also going to be checking into the most amount of lap. Checking if he has led all laps here so far. We can confirm to you that he's led all laps thus far, and if he can lead the next 5 laps, and he is on course to at the very least win the Grand Slam once his fastest lap has been confirmed. Also, a bit of an additional information, if you've seen the news, Hololive English has announced a new generation of talent. And by new generation of talent, I mean we're talking about essentially Hololive Justice. Essentially direct rivals to Hololive Advent. If Hololive Advent are the prisoners who have escaped prison and are just doing their things, Justice are apparently the ones who are tasked to essentially capture the escaped prisoners and all that stuff. The fugitives, if you want to call it. And one of the talents, of course, is Raura Pantera, who is based in the Romance Empire, and based on her skills in the language and her accent and all that stuff, she is Italian at heart. And of course, who else is Italian in the Aero? Kaminari Riba. And of course, he was offered to race for Raura Pantera some time down the line in Formula Hololive International, and Michael Turner finally comes to make his pit stop. His disqualification is averted. Maybe Cal Gibbons will do the same on the final field lap. We'll be paying attention on his advances, but back onto Kaminari Riba. He's open to race for Raura Pantera after he was being given an offer to race, of course, by the series owner, Mohamed Hassan Reza. He wasn't able to, just isn't able to refuse on that offer. Anyways, Michael Turner now down in 10th place. Now, oh, blocks coming at Riba, and Riba actually moves Michael Turner away. Oh, that was a bit close for comfort. Anyways, Formula Hololive International's schedule is yet to be finalized, but rumor has it that there will be an Italian round to essentially talk about Raura Pantera and all that stuff. So Riba has something to fight for, at the very least in Formula Hololive International, as he gets to race alongside his compatriot that also speaks the same language as him. But again, we also have Callum Gibbons also make his pit stop at the dying embers of this race to avoid making a pit stop. What is this? Alex Albon moment for these two drivers? Again, they're taking a good amount of time to change those tires, so it's still going to be up for naught. Sinful will be up in 4th. Mohamed Kasha is going to be a surprise package as he's now up into 5th place. Final lap has just started. Kaminari Riba has had setting no foots wrong in this race so far. The Linus Pride, of course, is raging through his heart right now. Chanel Markman gained a lot of positions. He started 7th, now up into 3rd. Toshi Rio started 18th, now up into 10th. Great race pace for him. But that's not going to be the driver we're going to be paying attention to. He's won the Capture the Moment Grand Prix Split A race earlier in March, coming in a rip-off for Shishiro Botan. He's going to do it in Hololive GT3 at the Tsukuba 400 Zako series. Coming in a rip-off for Shishiro Botan. Rounds out the final corner to bring the SSRB and Shishiro Botan their first win in Hololive GT3 since June 2022. Kaminari Riba wins the Tsukuba 400 Zako Series race. Eight cars finish on the lead lap. Five Lexus cars inside the top 5. A Lexus podium blockout. Regloss 2-3. Amazing. As we're looking into the rest of the drivers who will be making their way into the finish line, just wanted to have a bit of an intermission just to check onto the laps here, and just wanted to check. We might actually confirm it that actually Kaminari Riba might actually have fastest lap, so it might be confirmed provisionally. Kaminari Riba also secures the Grand Slam. Amazing race there to kick off the Tsuyo Zako season, with Kaminari Riba winning his first Hololive GT3 race since he entered the series in 2023, and the first for Shishiro Botan since 2022. Congratulations to Kaminari Riba for Shishiro Botan and the SSRBs, at least in Hololive GT3. Sean Go finishes 2nd in his Ichijo Ririka debut. In terms of the Regloss cars, 3 cars made the top 10. Chanel Marker, of course, one of the other drivers who finished inside the podium for Regloss, representing Jufu Teiraden. Johansson full 4th place for Natsuhiro Matsuri after having a miserable, after having some kind of a fall off in the final 2 races of qualifiers. Sinful has barely managed to redeem himself a bit with a 4th place finish for Natsuhiro Matsuri. 5th place goes to Mama Cashew in a surprise run as he manages to make use of his strategy to get that Watame car up in 5th place, despite Watame not really committed to the original uniforms since the 4FS. Jake Martinez in his Formula Hololive GT3 debut, and for Hyotoshi Ao's debut in aero competition, he finishes 6th. Daniel Barger 7th for Hoshimaki Suisei. Hoshisono Rio jumps 10 positions to get up into 8th place. Great stuff from Rio to have great redemption for Nakiri Ayame. Callum Gibbons 9th for Roboco alongside Michael Turner. 10th for Shirogane Noel. 11th place goes to Liam Kai for Todoroki Hajime, one of 2 Regloss cars who failed to make the top 10 but has shown promise. Don Elise 12th for Otonose Kanade. Richie Roth 13th for Fubuki. Maverick Ducien 14th for Omar Polka. Really, the last point scorer for Sakamate Chloe. Drivers who missed out on the points barely early would be Kizuhara Leo 16th, Hyuta Asano 17th, Fabio Mendes 18th, and of course they represent Shion, Aqua, and Koyori respectively. And of course, what hurts us the most, what hurts everyone the most, is Alto Santara continuing to not finish races in Hololive GT3 in the 2024 season. 49 laps complete. Very unfortunate for Antanara and Nekomata Okayu. So again, I want to share my thoughts on this race so far. Very interesting race of strategy. We got drivers only pitting right at the end of this race to make sure they're still good for the rule books. But of course, the fuel measurement irregularities are going to be checked. The ratio mod and irregularities will at the very least be investigated. No one will be disqualified in this race. This will be a bonus for everyone here. And just wanted to check on to Antaro on what actually happened to him. So it's actually, yeah, there was an issue with Antaro. If you want to see what happened to Antaro on the replay, so here's him actually coming into the pit because he actually has an issue with the car coming into the pit for a second time. So and then when he tried to get back out, he said something broke, and that would essentially meant Antaro would be out of the running, unfortunately. Again, another unfortunate race for some of these drivers involved. Also, we wanted to check on some of the highlights here, especially Chanel Markman's banzai move against Shango. Can't remember, or rather it was Shango who actually had a banzai move. Just wanted to check on where the situation happened. So here's what happened. So let's replay here. So here's Shango, and here is Chanel Markman. They battle for second place. Here's Markman coming into the outside of Liam Kai, which it would be a mistake for him to do because that essentially put him into a compromising position. Here's Shango. Watch out for Shango. He was outside, and then he just bumped and ran Chanel Markman out of the way for him to steal 7th place. What an amazing... it's a bit messy, but since both of the cars are still on track, there should be no reason to penalize. That's just rough driving, but still pretty clean. Here's the onboard from Shango. Just move him out of the way. Pure NASCAR moment. Can't ask for anything better than that. Also, another incident that we want to take a look here is the final lap between Kaminari Reba and Michael Turner, especially on the penultimate lap of this race. So let's take a look into replay to see what has just happened. Here's the onboard. Watch out for Michael Turner on the right. And just, pushes Michael Turner out of the way. But fortunately, Turner was able to continue, so no penalty will be awarded based on the results alone. So here's Michael Turner as his onboard as he exits the pit lane. So you can see here. Slight tap, but fortunately Turner was able to get himself back on track to continue running. So no penalties to report as we're finally going to conclude this race and to basically set the first mark into the Suyo Zako points performance. So let's take a look into the championship standings here. Finally, the championship standings have not borked itself. So let's take a look into the lineup here, as we've seen. Actually, Kaminari Reba will be set with 200 points to lead the Suyo, the Zako Cup standings, ahead of Shango and Chanel Markman in 2nd and 3rd place. And alongside them will be Johan Sinful and Mohamed Cashew, 4th and 5th in the standings. And then we have the 6th place going to Jake Martinez, and alongside him, Daniel Barger, 7th. Koji Sonorio is in 8th place alongside Calvin Gibbons, 9th, and Michael Turner rounding out the top 10. Liam Kai is in 11th, Don Elise 12th, Richie Roth 13th, Maverick Ducey 14th, and really rounds out the final points being positions. And with much of the races still to go, with trips to Suzuka, Motegi, and Sepang to report to you. We still have Kizaru Leo, Fabio Mendes, Yuta Asano, and Alderson Tanaro who have yet to score points. in Hololive GT3 competition, well, in the Zako series competition so far. And for Antero, he is set to score any points in any Hololive GT3 competitions this year so far. That being said, we hope everyone has enjoyed very immensely this whole racing deal here in the Tsukuba 400 Zako series race. We hope everyone is entertained to the lap traffic. We hope everyone is entertained with the pit stop strategy. We hope everyone is, of course, entertained with the fact that the Hololive members get to race their cars with their fans representing them, and it ends up with Shishiro Botan having her first win since 2022 in Hololive GT3, with Kaminari Riba taking the honors. That being said, I'm Mamasha Reza in the commentary booth, and you'll be watching the Tsukuba 400 Zako series race. We'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow for the CEO series race at the same track. We'll see you there in 2 p.m. Japan time. Take care, everyone, and have a nice day.